Cameras that were stared back at. The camera wasn't supposed to be noticed, but something in the deep sea stopped and stared directly into it. When scientists leave cameras in the deep ocean, they expect animals to drift past unaware, uninterested, invisible. Instead, they often record something far more unsettling. Creatures that stop moving, eyes that reflect the camera's light back at the lens, minutes where nothing changes except the feeling that something is watching. In this Dark Depths documentary, we explore real deep-sea footage where animals appear to observe the camera itself and why these moments disturb even experienced researchers. And near the final third of this descent, we'll reach footage so quiet and motionless that scientists initially thought the recording had frozen. If real ocean mysteries and unsettling footage fascinate you, subscribe to Dark Depths. Why deep-sea cameras should be ignored. But aren't deep-sea cameras are designed to be passive observers? They don't chase animals. They don't emit sound. They sit quietly on the seafloor, often for hours or days. In most ecosystems, animals treat cameras as background noise, but the deep sea is different. Below the sunlit zone, the environment is defined by absolute darkness, extreme pressure, minimal movement. Anything new becomes instantly significant. A camera introduces artificial light, a fixed structure, a foreign shape. To deep-sea animals, this isn't just an object, it's an anomaly. In the abyss, stillness usually means safety. A motionless object that doesn't drift feels unnatural, and that's when animals begin to notice. The first time scientists realized they were being watched. As deep-sea exploration expanded, researchers began reviewing thousands of hours of footage. At first, the behavior seemed insignificant. An eel paused longer than expected. A fish hovered near the edge of the light. A shape lingered just outside the frame. But patterns emerged. Certain animals positioned themselves directly in front of the lens, remained motionless for extended periods, returned multiple times during a single deployment. In several recordings, the animal's eyes reflected light directly back into the camera. This reflection, called eyeshine, is common in low-light animals, but the stillness wasn't. Predators don't waste energy hovering without purpose. Prey don't linger near unknown objects. In the deep sea, attention is expensive. So, why was the camera worth it? Eyes that reflect and don't look away. Many deep-sea animals have highly sensitive eyes. They're adapted to detect bioluminescence movement contrast. When a camera's light turns on, it becomes the brightest thing in the environment. To us, the reflection of eyes looks like awareness. To scientists, it signals alignment. The animal has oriented itself toward the source. What makes this disturbing isn't the reflection, it's what follows. The animal doesn't approach. It doesn't retreat. It doesn't blink. It waits. Sometimes for minutes. Stillness in the deep ocean is rarely passive. If you were alone in total darkness and something suddenly stared back, would you move? And sometimes, nothing moves at all. Minutes of absolute stillness. Some of the most unsettling deep-sea footage contains almost no movement, no swimming, no drifting, no visible reaction, just an animal suspended in front of the camera. In several documented cases, the camera records continuous footage. The animal remains fixed in position. The environment stays unchanged. Researchers reviewing the footage often double-check the timestamp. They assume the video has frozen. It hasn't. The animal is simply there, listening, sensing, evaluating. In the deep sea, motion attracts attention. Stillness gathers information. But some footage goes even further. When the camera becomes the focus. In rare but documented cases, animals don't just remain still. They return. An animal appears at the edge of the light, leaves, then re-enters the frame from the same angle. Others circle slowly, stopping directly in front of the lens. No feeding attempt, no defensive posture, no aggression, just presence. Scientists do not describe this as intelligence or curiosity. They describe it as unclassified behavior. Science avoids emotional language, but it never ignores patterns. And this is where the unease begins. Why this feels so unsettling to humans. Humans are neurologically wired to respond to eye contact, stillness, orientation, direct facing. When animals on land do this, it signals threat or awareness. When deep-sea animals do it without facial features, without movement, it triggers discomfort. Because the deep sea doesn't express intention the way we understand it. It simply observes. The fear isn't that something is watching. It's that we don't know how it perceives us. What scientists actually conclude, researchers remain cautious. There is no evidence of conscious recognition of humans, intentional interaction, hostile behavior, but there is evidence of prolonged attention, sensory evaluation, environmental assessment. The deep ocean isn't reacting emotionally, it's processing. Deep-sea cameras weren't stared at because the ocean was curious. They were stared at because the deep sea is alert. Every disturbance is evaluated. Every anomaly is noticed. And sometimes, the most unsettling thing in the ocean isn't what moves, it's what stops. Next on Dark Depths, deep-sea animals that followed submersibles in silence. Thanks for watching.